There we go. Hello, hello. If you're watching, this is meant to be a quick tutorial on the sound system for the upcoming weekend. As you know, I'm going to be out of town and Father's going to be out of town. Also, let's just take a moment to recognize that our dear friend Randy Knapp would have had our backs in a situation like this. So it's an unusual weekend coming up, and I just want to show you some quick tips about the sound system. And you can refer to these later too. Maybe someday I'll make a nicer video. Wouldn't that be great? So we're going to start here at the sound system desk. Now it's open at the moment, but if for some reason you approach the desk and it's locked, I'll show you where our super secret key is. You just have to take a walking field trip over here to the confessional box, and we're super high tech here. So look for this Altoids tin, and the key is right inside this Altoids tin. I'm not going to open it right now because we want to keep the video going, but that's where you would find the key to the desk. Okay, so we're heading back over to the desk, which is already opened. There are 2 steps to the sound system, and at a minimum, you just want to know what to look for with the first step. You want to check the scenes on the soundboard. The scenes screen should look like this, as well as the word scenes is lit up right here. Okay, think of scenes like in a movie or in theater world. And so if this soundboard was operating a play or a musical, we might have different settings for each scene based upon moving the microphones around. So we have a scene for Sunday Mass music on the front, and that is number 5. I already have it set because you can see right up here it says Sunday Mass number 5 on both of these layers. That means that I not only scrolled to Sunday Mass front number 5, but I also registered it. So the way that you do that, if for some reason that was off, you just use this knob that's pointed towards the go button, and you can scroll. You see the yellow highlighted box scrolling up and down. So you would scroll to Sunday Mass front. It's already highlighted, but if it wasn't, I'm scrolled onto it, and then over here on the far side it says set. So I would press the corresponding button, and it's already set, but a box would pop up asking if you want to confirm, and then you just press the corresponding button again. Again, you shouldn't need to worry about this, but stranger things have happened, so it's good for you to know. Then come on down to the bottom, and everything is displayed for you on the far left in the green. This is the sanctuary, so we have Father's microphone and the ambo. And you know what? I am just going to, Father's mic and the ambo. And then on the far right in red, these are all of the music microphones. So the only 2 things you need to know about the board, you need to pay attention to the mute buttons and the faders. These mute buttons are either red or not red. And so we really only need the microphones unmuted that we're going to use. So right here, always make sure Father's microphone is unmuted. Come on over, make sure the ambo is unmuted. That's all we need in the front. Then on the far right, things are typically all muted when you arrive. So this is important to check. You obviously will want to unmute the piano, and you'll want to unmute soprano number 1 because that's where I have the cantor plugged in today, since both of our weekend cantors are sopranos. If somebody was actually at the board, they could also gently adjust the faders, and I say gently because for the most part we want everything at or near 0. That's our baseline. If something is too quiet, you could move it up as high as 5, but if you get to a 5 or above, you are likely going to get feedback, and you don't want that. You can also go below 0. As an example, this past weekend, we had a kiddo who was this past Wednesday at school mass, we had a kiddo who was really loud, and he had to be turned all the way down to like a -15 because he was right up in that microphone. So that does happen sometimes. It's just good for you to know. And of course, the main volume should also be at 0. Boy, I'm really sorry. I'm not a videographer, so thanks for sticking with me here. So that's everything you need to know about the soundboard. And in a bind, that would be your autopilot. That's all you would need, but it's super helpful if you're kind of familiar with the laptop as well. I already have the laptop open, but here's what it would look like when you turn it on. If it asks for a passcode, the passcode's super easy. You need 6 digits, and so the passcode is 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's it. 1 2 3 4 5 6. And there's your icon on the bottom. It looks like a soundboard. It says M32. So you just click that icon, and your soundboard pops up. At the very top, this is what we call banks, all the way across. See those tall rectangles? The only 2 banks you need to be familiar with are channels 1 through 8. That's where you find all of the sanctuary buttons. It looks just like it did on the soundboard. And remember, the only ones that we need unmuted are Father and the ambo. And so in a bind, if you were at the piano and there was feedback, you could always just mute something quickly. Or if our visiting priest was not getting picked up at all, but you could see that this was lighting up, then that means he's wearing the wrong microphone, and you can unmute this. Just be aware that when you unmute something, you might want to have your hand on that fader, because when you unmute it, if there's feedback, you could right away slide it all the way down. For example, if I noticed that the visiting priest was wearing Deacon mic 2 and I unmuted him, I would have my finger on the fader. I could quickly slide it down and then just bring it up until there wasn't any feedback. And just for funsies, let me show you what happens when I am moving a fader on the soundboard. So I'm moving the fader on the iPad, and look what happens on the soundboard. It moves it on the soundboard too, like a little angel, little angels moving that over there. Okay, and so that's bank 1, and then if you skip ahead to bank 3, this third rectangle, it says channels 17 through 24. This looks just like it did on the soundboard. We have all of the front music buttons here. You can see I already have soprano 1 is unmuted, so the cantor mic is ready to go. The piano mic is unmuted, so that's ready to go. And on Sunday at the 10 a.m. Mass, you will need to unmute 21 and 22. That's the choir. If you're wondering what these acronyms mean, choir AT stands for alto tenor, so that's the microphone closest to your altos and tenors. Choir SB stands for soprano bass, and so that microphone is closest to your soprano basses. Just kind of good for you to know, because I don't think it would be an issue at all, but if for some reason one section was louder than the other and you wanted to play with the balance a little bit, you could slightly adjust these faders. Check in with Tina Springer before Mass, because her husband Tim Springer might be sitting at the board on Sunday at 10 a.m. Mass, and so he might be able to handle all of this for you. I'm really rambling. I'm a terrible videographer, but I hope this helps. Please call me if you have any questions, and thank you. Thank you for your ministry. God bless you. I'll see you soon.